Hi guys, in this video I want to talk to you about the best possible way to perform squats. This is, as you all know, the best exercise that you can possibly do, and as Arthur Jones once famously said, the best exercise ever invented by humans. So it's a very heavy statement, and it's actually true, because if you're thinking about leg development and also about overall development, there is no exercise that can stand next to squats. Now we have to clear a big problem away first. Can everybody do squats? Are you built to do squats? No, not everybody can successfully perform squats. Sorry to say that, but this is the truth, and there is nothing that we can do about this. Now, what determines actually that ability to perfectly execute this exercise? First of all is our skeletal development. So there are three critical points that actually decide about possibility to perform squats perfectly. The proportions between spine, femur and tibia are actually critical. So people who have longer spines or shorter spines will be having different abilities to perform this exercise. So now I'm going to give you, this also applies actually to femur and tibia in specific proportions. So now I'm going to tell you which proportions are the best. So if you are one of those people who have a long spine, short to medium femur, and similar length of the tibia as femur, you will be able to perform squats with ease. Now, if we have short torso and you have long femur and you have short tibia, it will be very difficult, because you will be naturally leaning forward, not because you are doing something wrong, it's just because the way you are built. Now, if you're one of those people who have a long torso, short and or medium femur, and medium or long tibia, you will be the lucky ones. So I was one of those people who had good skeletal proportions, so I could have successfully performed squats, and I have benefited a lot by doing squats, especially my leg development, but also overall development, because this exercise is extremely taxing, is extremely difficult, and is extremely stressful for the whole body. Therefore, the whole body is producing growth hormone and testosterone and IGF-1, and these are the hormones that you produce, especially if you're a natural bodybuilder, especially under the very high intensity. And there is not higher intensity than performing squats in perfect form. Remember that, perfect form. So I'm going to give you some top tips that you should follow in order to perform this great exercise correctly. Now, the most important thing that you need to understand is that the muscle has to be fully stretched in its insertion point. So insertion point for quadriceps is the knee. So that knee flexion is critical for performing good squat. The knee, as you can see on the photos, it has to be fully extended. So in my case, as you can see on the photos, you can see that in any type of squats, back barbell squat, front squat, or hack squat, I go quite deep. So by going deep, you are actually flexing your knee fully, meaning that your quadriceps will be fully stretched. And that full stretching position under heavy load, under resistance, is what creates maximum mechanical tension, which is essential for muscle growth. Now, in that fully stretched position, you are actually in the position of passive tension. So that passive tension under heavy load stimulates growth of the biggest muscle filaments which are called titans. So these titans are also known to be the biggest proteins in the human body. And unless you fully stretch the muscle under the tension, they will not be activated. There are two other types of filaments like myosin and actin. They will be activated even if you don't go into fully stretched and fully contractive position. But titans will never be activated unless you go to the fully stretched position. In the case of squats, that means that you need to go deep. Now, you have probably seen and heard that, you don't have to go all the way down. Parallel squats are fine. Half squats are also fine. You can see a lot of people doing squats, lifting very, very heavy weights, maybe 3, 4, 5 plates each side, but they are not going all the way down, right? So you think that may contribute to growth, muscle growth, and the growth of your quads. It will contribute, but up to the point, because you will never fully stretch quadriceps, which is absolutely necessary for maximum development. So instead of going deeper, a lot of people go halfway in order to lift heavier weights. But remember, squats will not benefit you if you put tremendous amount of weight on the bar and go halfway down, because the risk of injury will dramatically increase while the benefit will drop down. You need to go all the way down. Now, over time, you will develop ability to lift heavier weights as your muscles grow and you become stronger. But as long as you keep this perfect form, you will benefit greatly with minimum risk of injuries. So if you go all the way down, clearly the weight that you use is going to be lighter than if you go halfway down, but effect is going to be much greater and risk of injury is going to be much smaller. So as you can see on the photos, in every type of squats that I have done and I'm still doing, so back squat, front squat, or hack squat, I'm reaching the point where the angle between the femur and tibia goes anywhere from 35 to 40, 45 degrees, which is quite deep. You can also see that in the video which I have played for you, and which actually goes on now. You can see that I'm going very deep. And again, the angle between the femur, which is the thigh bone, and tibia, which is the calf bone, reach the angle which is going sometimes all the way to 30 degrees. So this is quite deep. You can't go deeper than that. I usually say to my clients and other people that I advise, you go down as far as you can sit on your calf with your hamstring. So when your hamstring sits on your calf, you know you have gone deep enough. There is another story that I want to tell you just to support this fact that for maximum development of quadriceps muscles, you need to go deep. In 1987, I competed in Bulgaria, in Sofia, in capital of Bulgaria, and I won a European Cup. That time, I met a lot of people, especially from the Bodybuilding Federation of Bulgaria, and I always wanted to know, or wanted to see actually, Bulgarian Olympic weightlifting team. And I wanted to see how they train, because these guys were the best weightlifters in the world. For decades, they were winning all gold medals, Olympics, World Championships, wherever they went, they always won. And although I'm not into weightlifting, I have nothing to do with weightlifting, I was always impressed with their squats, because in order to lift those weights in the position which is required, they usually go all the way down, as is known to, like a saying, us to the grass, right? And they really almost touch the floor with their glutes. So I wanted to find out how they do it, why they do it, what is the special technique. It was very difficult in those days because Bulgaria was communist countries, so you were not able to get into that team because they were top professionals, Olympic champions, and they kept it secret as well. Their training method wasn't really public in those days. So I met few people. They managed to get me the access, and I was honored to meet the most famous, the biggest, the best weightlifting coach of all time, Ivan Abadjiev. I spoke to him. I was literally impressed with the man because this was the man that produced hundreds and hundreds of champions. Another striking thing that happened is when I entered the gym, I've seen maybe 20 weightlifters that most of them doing squats. The gym didn't have any leg press, any leg extension, any leg curls. All they've done was squats, right? Squats and deadlifts. So first thing I've seen is that every single one of them had massive quads, massive legs, but not only quads, also hamstrings. So I couldn't wait to sit down and watch them doing things. But Jiv explained to me that they have to go deep because this is what their discipline required. But although they didn't do many reps, most of the time they will do 1 to 3 reps. But Abadjiev said to me, when I have a guy who is very talented, who has perfect skeletal proportions, but doesn't have enough mass on his legs, I bring them to do up to 6 reps. So we do sets of 6, not 1 to 3, but 6. And that is what is required for maximum quadriceps growth. So all these guys had one thing in common, and this is squatting all the way down, ass to the grass. Just another example to contribute to this video and to this scientific proof that actually maximum flexion in your knee joint is required to stimulate fully your quadriceps muscle. Another thing that I want to say is that you should not lean forward too much, because this is another thing that you see in the gyms probably most of the time. Because if you lean forward too much, your exercise is not squats anymore. You're not squatting. You're doing a good morning exercise. So the muscles that are fully responsible for that particular movement are going to be lower back muscles and back muscles. So when you do legs, when you do squats, you actually don't want to train your back. You're training your legs. So you will try to stay as upright as possible. Now you can see this on my photos and me performing squats. Yes, you can lean a little bit forward, but not too much forward. And again, I have to mention that if you have short spine, short torso, and very long femur, you shouldn't be doing squats. You will be struggling because these skeletal proportions will not allow you to actually perform the exercise properly. You will probably be leaning forward too much, so you should avoid squats. In that scenario, you should focus more on leg press, going as deep as possible, and also hack squats, because you will be able to perform those 2 exercises without any problem. Another thing that I should mention is that I prefer to do leg extensions always first in my leg workout, and then do either squats second or leg press second and squats third, because I really want to be fully warmed up. My knees, my thighs, I need them warmed up properly so I feel very comfortable to go into squatting. That doesn't mean that you should never start with squats, but I'm just giving you my example, and that is also the practice of many other successful bodybuilders and professional bodybuilders. So to do extensions first in order to fully warm up your knee joint, because it's a very complicated joint with very, vulnerable ligaments there, and tendons as well. So that would be a good tip. I also do not lock on the top of the movement, but try to stop before the locking position, so that way I keep the tension all the time. So during the set, regardless of how long the set lasts, 15, 20, 30, 40 seconds, I always try to keep the tension going all the time, never stopping the tension by locking at the top. Now, depending on the level of development, you should perform squats once a week, maybe twice a week, or maybe you should perform squats once every 2 weeks. So that depends on the level of development, depends on intensity that you're using, and obviously part of the years either is off-season or on-season, but you will have to experiment and find out how many times per week you should perform squats, or maybe how many times per month. Some people are doing squats every other week in order to fully recover their joints and tendons and have great success. Some people perform them once, some people perform them twice per week. I tend to perform them every week. Sometimes if I feel that I'm not 100% recovered from squatting in the previous week, I would skip. I will just do leg press, extensions, and hack squats. But I tend to do squats every week, but that's me. You should experiment and find out actually what is working for you. Now, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and send me your comments because they're very important, and also join our members page, because this is the page that I will be posting videos only for members, and members will benefit from having consultations with me, participating to webinars, and also having access to articles that I will only publish to members page. Also, for the ones who are really interested in detail about training techniques, training systems, best exercises for maximum development of major muscle groups, I would wholeheartedly advise you to go on my website, which is nashfittraining.com, and look at the selection of ebooks that I have published for you. There are 7 different ebooks there, ebooks which are focusing on training, competitive preparation period, nutrition, fat loss, and also on my website you can see other services that I provide, such as telephone consultations, personal training online, personalized training and nutrition programs, and also personal training for people who live in UK. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourselves.